Good afternoon, welcome back to T3 and your tech news in 5 minutes or less. Making headlines this week, Intel's 10th gen gets even more leaks, people are starting to look past COVID and into the future, and a whole bunch of free new games on the horizon. Now, some quick updates regarding the COVID-19 scenario. We do have a lot of the suppliers back on track and able to produce and supply parts as per normal. This does mean that we are looking at possibly 3 months worth of supply shortage and then continuing back to normal. So as we more or less surmise, it's going to be about 4 or 5 months worth of the year which is going to be affected, which is quite a long time. And 4 out of 12 is basically 30%. So, well, 33.3333 recurring, etc. If you want to be specifically technical, but it's a big chunk is the bullet point of the presentation. So I just can't help but feel remorse for those that are massively affected by this. Now, a lot of the events and stuff are being rescheduled for later in the year, and this is really good news because it means that people are once again getting back on track and looking to the future so that we can almost restore a normal, whatever normal was within the IT industry, we can kind of go back to that. The influx of traffic with everybody at home, though, has increased bandwidth to the point that a lot of companies like YouTube and Netflix have had to actually put restrictions on their data. The folding at home cluster has produced now 1.5 exaflops worth of processing power. That's the equivalent of about 112,000 RTX 2080 Ti's. All I can say is I've never been more proud of this community. And some good news around Intel, we have both their mobile and desktop chips destroying the 5 GHz mark, which is really good news for the gamers and single task intensive users. But if it's going to beat the value that AMD has on multi-threaded when their 4800U and 4900H are on the horizon and are showing a really mean power out of those, it's really going to get hot in the mobile kitchen. Desktop, though, it does look like the 10th gen from the 9th gen should be about a 30% performance increase. Well, that's what the early benchmarks are hinting at. In Nvidia news, they've rolled out a nice set of bug fixes in their 445.78 update, which previously on their other 445 update had issues with DirectX and global sharpening. If you try to launch DirectX 11 specific titles, they would just crash outright. So go and get that bug or that patch fix as quick as you possibly can. Regarding their launches, though, their Ampere has been delayed to September, which is when Computex, as we may have shown you earlier, will be cropping up. So hopefully we'll see more RTX 3000 goodness then. In some very concerning news for the people over at AMD, their source codes around their current RDNA architecture around Big Navi and their Xbox launch have been leaked and are casually being sold off at 100 million USD a pop. All we can say is the words of Russell Peters' dad, somebody is gonna get hurt real bad. Lastly, in some good news for the gamers, there are a lot of freebies still going around. You guys can get yourselves World War Z, Figment and Tormentor X on the Epic Games Store until the 2nd of April. Just not too bad. Hopefully they don't pull it April 1st and pull it. I think April 1st should be cancelled though, because so far this year's been a complete joke. Moreover, there's been a domain registration for GTA 6, which is extremely titillating for the massive pool of gamers who bought GTA 5, making it one of the best selling games of all time. And with all of the news around GTA 6 continuing to come out, best believe we're going to keep that finger on that pulse. Unfortunately though, that is all we have time for today, so keep your lives ticking and your games wrecking. We'll see you next time. Oh, one last thing before I go. In this week's review, I am going to be playing around with these little diddlies. I have all 3 of the glorious PC Master Race masks, so look out for that later in the week. Until then, okay, bye bye.